The wind on the Leon 6 did not behave like the winds of Earth. It didn't howl or whistle. It hummed, vibrating through the crystalline valleys and bioluminescent forests in low, resonant tones that sounded like the planet itself was singing. To Lysera, a young Thalionite studying off-world anthropology, this gentle hum was comforting, familiar. But the human visitor standing outside the station listening to it looked anything but comfortable. Lysera watched him from inside the transparent thermal dome, her silver pupils narrowing curiously. His name was Dr. Elias Ward, a newly arrived scientist from Earth with a reputation for stubbornness that the station staff had warned her about. They said he preferred doing things the old way, which, to her surprise, apparently included exposing himself to sub-zero alien weather without proper bioarmor. He stood on the frozen ridge with nothing but a thick earth coat, boots, and an expression that mixed wonder and intense concentration. His breath crystallized instantly, little clouds of glittering frost drifting around his face. Lysera blinked in disbelief. Humans were fragile. Everyone knew that. They required stable temperatures, constant hydration, and endless protein supplementation. The Leonex's night temperatures could instantly cause frostburn on exposed skin. Yet there Elias stood, his hands tucked in pockets, absorbing every hum of the wind as though he were trying to memorize the entire planet. "What is he doing out there?" Lysera muttered. "He calls it acclimating," Commander Zethran said from behind her. His 4 arms crossed skeptically. "Humans are unpredictable. I recommend you avoid adopting their habits." But Lysera was fascinated. And fascination, in her experience, was the beginning of learning. Elias stayed outside for nearly an hour. When the thermal sensors finally reached a danger level, Lysera rushed through the airlock, against protocol, and stepped into the shimmering cold. She felt the immediate sting as the temperature differential hit her skin. For a Thalionite, it was uncomfortable but manageable. For a human, it should have been unbearable. "Dr. Ward," she called, her voice vibrating lightly as the wind hummed in reply. "Your body temperature is dropping. You need to go back inside." He turned his head slightly, giving her a half-smile. "You must be Lysera, the anthropologist, right?" She blinked. "Yes. And you are violating station safety standards." "I'm almost done," Elias said, closing his eyes again. "Done? With what?" He inhaled deeply, as if breathing in the music of the air. "Listening," he answered. "Your wind has harmonics, layers of tone, like a chorus. It's incredible." Lysera's shock was immediate. "You can hear that?" "Of course." His smile widened. "Humans may be fragile, but our ears are decent." He stared hard. Humans were not supposed to perceive the subtleties of the Leon's excess natural resonance. Even visiting species with advanced auditory structures struggled. Yet he spoke about it exactly the way she experienced it. A warmth, curiosity mixed with admiration, glowed in her chest. Over the next several days, Lysera found herself watching Elias more than she intended to. He acclimated to the cold faster than any human she'd ever observed. He spent hours outside mapping sound waves, analyzing how the crystalline ridges modified airflow, and occasionally lying in the snow for a better listening angle. The human was baffling and brilliant. One evening, she approached him as he worked beside a cluster of harmonic crystals, each glowing with faint teal light. Elias brushed snow off a sensor panel and glanced up. "Could use help. These crystals shift every few hours." "I'm trying to track the pattern." Lysera knelt beside him, her long fingers tracing the facets of the nearest crystal. "They shift based on emotional presence," she explained. The Leon 6 is sentient. I suspected as much, he replied calmly. Lysera froze. Suspected. Humans can detect that. He shrugged. Not directly. But I've been to enough worlds to know the signs. Changing resonance, unpredictable harmonic structures, environmental responses that are too patterned to be random. He gestured at the glowing formations. This planet reacts to us. Lysera felt a jolt of awe. Not because he had figured it out, but because he understood it intuitively like a Thalionite would. She studied him carefully. Why does it interest you so much? He hesitated, then spoke more softly. Because Earth has never known a world that sings. I grew up thinking the universe was silent. Then I joined the Interworld Research Guild, and suddenly everything was alive. Resonant, meaningful. Every new sound feels like hearing the universe speak for the first time again. Lysera's breath hitched. His voice carried genuine wonder, something she had never seen in her own people, who had long grown used to the planet's songs. She realized something profound. To him, nothing about her world was ordinary, and that made even the simplest hum of wind feel sacred. Weeks passed. Their collaboration transformed into friendship, and their friendship began to grow into something she didn't yet have a word for. Something warm and constant, like a steady vibration in her chest. One night, as twin moons cast violet light across the snow, the planet's hum deepened in pitch, a sign that a resonance storm was forming. Lysera felt the ground's faint tremors. We need to return to the station, she warned. But Elias was staring at the horizon, where shimmering waves of sound-distorted air flickered like auroras. I've never seen this from the outside, he whispered. Just a few minutes. Lysera hesitated. It can be dangerous. I'll be careful, he promised. But promises meant little to a sentient planet. The resonance storm arrived faster than expected. A sudden burst of low-frequency vibration rippled through the air, striking Elias like an invisible wave. He staggered and collapsed to a knee. Elias! Lysera rushed to him. The wind hummed violently, the frequencies clashing and discordant. The storm didn't usually harm Thalionites, but humans were far more vulnerable. She wrapped her arms around him, shielding him with her body. The planet's vibration hit her skin like dozens of tiny shocks. We need to move, she said through gritted teeth. I'm fine, he muttered, but she felt his body trembling uncontrollably. Using all her strength, Lysera pulled him up and half-carried him across the ridge. The storm roared behind them, chasing their retreat with swirling harmonic pressure. She pushed harder, adrenaline surging. The airlock finally came into view. They stumbled inside just as the storm hit full force outside, shaking the dome. Elias leaned on her, breath shallow. You saved me, he whispered. Lysera swallowed, her throat tight. You frightened me, she replied. Humans should not stand in resonance storms. He gave a soft laugh. I guess not. Their eyes met, and for a moment the world outside disappeared. The following morning, Elias sat upright in the medical chamber, looking healthier but contemplative. Lysera stood nearby, her silver pupils glowing softly. I need to thank you, he said. You already did. Not enough. He paused. I came here to study your world. But you showed me something I didn't expect. His voice softened. You showed me what it feels like to be cared for. Her heart vibrated in a way she couldn't mask. We care for those who listen, she said gently. He reached out, taking her hand. Then I'll keep listening. Lysera squeezed his fingers, her shock long since replaced by something deeper. Something steady. Something like harmony. Outside, the planet hummed, a soft, resonant chord that felt almost like approval. On the Leon 6, nothing was silent. And now neither were they.